Hello.
Marcelo, before we move on to the harder part, the like and the thought.
Okay, good afternoon, doctor. Could you hear me now?
Yeah,
Doctor.
yeah, I can hear you, Dr. Ramesh. How are you, Dr.
Yes,
Ramesh?
yes, sir. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you, Doctor Jayo?
I'm good, I'm good. So could you open your camera, please, so
Yes,
everyone
yes, definitely.
student in our department can see your face?
Yes, I have opened. Can you see my face?
Yeah, I can see you. Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Ramesh. So how is the weather in Malaysia right now?
So it is okay. It is just nice, not very hot. It was raining yesterday, a bit cooling the weather today. Yes.
Normal and hot, but now in Yogyakarta is quite almost rainy.
Oh, really?
Very soon. Yeah. So,
Mm.
okay, I would like to open again to all of you. Please, students, please respond. If you have any questions, please also prepare your questions related to these materials today. So, especially to Dr. Ramesh. Dr. Ramesh, I would like to introduce Dr. Ramesh. Dr. Ramesh is a associate professor in Universiti Teknologi Mara, isn't it right?
Yes.
And also in the Faculty of Business and Management. Of course, he is a very specialist on the business and management. And today's presentation will be about the management and also including the financial, human resource management, and so on. And also the academic qualification, he was graduated from University Malaya as a Bachelor Economic and also PGD Diploma in Education, University Malaya, and also MBA from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and PhD in Management in University Kebangsaan Malaysia with the PhD thesis examining the job design characteristic, organizational citizenship, behavior link, a proposed mediation and moderation framework. Um, so he also some have a very good position as a teacher from 1993, a very long experience as a senior teacher, production executive, senior production executive, marketing executive, training consultant, assistant registrar, tutor, associate professor. Now in permanent staff as a associate professor in University Teknologi Mara, Cawangan, Melaka. And I think the CV is a very long, and you can also search on his Google Scholar or articles about his result of his research. So thank you very much for today coming for all the students, and also thank you very much for Dr. Ramesh Krishnan as your request for the guest lecture today at our department in international uh, financial program, yeah, in economic finance. Okay, so welcome to Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, Dr. Ramesh. I'm sorry that we have to do online. We cannot conduct it offline here in Yogyakarta as we talked before, but I wish that this started communication and your guest lecture can be uh, much more stronger relationship between us, between me and you, between the Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta and also University of Mara. So for today, thank you very much also for the all students for coming, and we will have about the 45 minutes. Maybe Dr. Ramesh is enough for you to give your presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I
Thank you
think
very
I
much.
think maximum is a 60 minutes, but a 45 minutes to 60 minutes presentations and also 30 minutes for discussion for the all students. So please, all students, prepare your questions. So Dr. Ramesh, the student is an international student. He's come from some Middle East, some from Malaysia, and also from Indonesia, and they are speaking in English. It's not so much students, maybe one class only 9 to 12 students. but they are very clever and very interesting on the business. They are in the first grade of the in the university, first grade in the semester first. But some student, only two student, I think, from Malaysia, they are already in the fifth semester. So if you can present in the easy way in English, it's much better for them. So they can follow, they can understand your materials. So for all the students, please prepare your question and ask, because this time is very important for you to learn from the other perspective, especially from Dr. Ramesh Krishnan. So again, thank you so much, and please welcome Dr. Ramesh Krishnan. So Dr. Ramesh Krishnan, the time is yours, 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Dr. Ramesh, go. Dr. Ramesh, go. Where's Dr. Ramesh? Okay, so everyone, Muhammad Iqbal, Muhammad Fauzan, Rifka, Muhammad Ba Zidan, Irfan Atira, and Ramzidin, and also the other student, Fifin, Muhammad Shidik. After these classes, we can discuss about the planning of the business plan for your last presentation next week as the final examination in this course. So, okay, Dr. Ramesh, are you okay for the for
Yes,
the
okay,
connection?
but I have little bit of interruption, disconnection. The connection is not very good.
Okay, no
Yeah,
problem. So please, now
uh,
is the connection is already good.
yeah, it is connected now. Just now I see a little problem.
All right.
So I hope the thing will go on okay. All right, I think I will begin first. First of all, I would like to extend my thanks to the to the director of IPEF, Dr. Dimas Bagus Viranata Kusuma, right, who is the director, for giving this opportunity lah. At the same time, to Dr. Cahyo Vishnu Rubianto, who is lecturer in charge for the introduction to business subject, E1904, okay, under the economics department of economics, faculty of economics and business in Universiti Muhammadiyah Jogja. Okay, and also special thanks to also to Pak Anggi for coordinating the event, right? And first of all, I would like to say that I was quite impressed lah with the IPIEF's various what do you call cooperation between external institution, which aim to give great exposure, right, to students, um, uh, and uh, improving the well-being of the people of Indonesia in various economic sectors. So this is a very great effort by IPIEF. And also I am quite impressed with the achievement of the students of IPIEF in various international programs and conferences on and mobility program, right? So I am really impressed by this. And of course, special thanks to all for allowing me, giving me the opportunity to conduct this guest lecture, okay, on a special topic about human resource management and its effectiveness to the for the business operations. Okay, I think I will post my slides now. Yeah, share. Okay, share.
Can you share screen, Dr. Ramesh?
Yeah, I'm sharing now.
Yep.
Okay, can you see the slides, everyone?
Yeah, I can. How about the other students?
Okay, how about the other students? Can you all see my slides now?
Yes, I can.
Fauzan, Ramzi, Zidan?
Yes, you can.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
All right, So I will begin now. All right. So first of all, I think Dr. Chahyo has given some introduction about myself. I will also explain little background about myself, right? I am
Sorry, Dr. Ramesh, could you slideshow, please?
slide
If
show.
yeah, slideshow in the right side. Yes, that one.
Okay, is it clear now?
Yeah, it's more better. Thank you.
Okay, little bit about background of myself. I am I've qualified with Bachelor of Economics from University of Malaya, and my specialty is in applied economics. And then I have continued my diploma in education. I was a teacher, after which I continued my master's in business administration in National University of Malaysia, Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, and obtained my PhD also from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia in the field of organizational behavior and human resource management. My professional qualification, I'm still a member, associate member of the Malaysian Institute of Human Resource Management, and currently I am affiliated to the Faculty of Business and Management at Universiti Teknologi Melaka branch in Malaysia. Right, and I have been in this field of education. I started as a teacher, and I and end up with educator also in the higher learning education. And I was with UITM, University Technology Mara, for the last 24 over years. And it's a quite long time period. And I'm quite actively involved in research. And as of now, I have about 40 papers, that academic papers that I have published, right, in various local and academic journals. Okay. So this is a little bit about my past employment, because I'm talking about human resources. So it will be good if the students there would know what is my background. I'm not only an academic, but I was in the industry, working in various background and sectors. Even though my main was I was a production executive in the manufacturing sector in a semiconductor industry, that is Motorola, Kuala Lumpur. I was there about for 4 years plus, and also in another computer manufacturing assembly firm in Melaka, Gateway 2000, also as a production executive, right? After which I have sort of like retrenched from the organization, and I was unemployed for about 1 or 2 years. This is where I have take the role of a few marketing, in the field of marketing, training, business training, consulting, and so on. So this is a little bit about my employment history, right? So I have taught quite a number of subjects in the system in UITM for the last 24 years. And these are the major subjects that I have taught: management, strategic management, human resource management, marketing management, global marketing management. Performance management is also a part of human resource management, economics, business analytics, and data analytics, entrepreneurship, and research method for business, mainly for bachelor degree students. And currently, I'm also teaching master students, MBA students, and I am supervising a few PhD students as well. So currently the subject that I'm teaching is the one that I take here: performance management, business analytics, and research method for business. Okay. First of all, let me introduce the topic for the discussion today: the role of human resource management for effective business, what you call, business operations. I name it as such because to cover both area of human resources and operations management is quite difficult, because these are two big area in business to be covered. So as such, I have make the topic to just concentrate on a few important areas in business in human resource management. And as we know, business operations refers to the activities that business engage in on daily basis, isn't it? to increase the value of the enterprise and earn a profit. So the employees actually help to accomplish the business goals by performing various functions. In business, there are various functions such as production function, manufacturing function, marketing function, accounting, research and development, isn't it? Facility management, procurement, and many other business functions. So the success of these business functions is greatly influenced by an effective management of human resources, because so we will discuss these various aspects or processes in human resource management that will improve the effectiveness of the business operations. Basically, this is the idea. And I will give you a few overview about my lecture, what I'm going to cover for today. We need to understand the concept of human resource management and little bit important functions that carried out by human resource managers and executives. And we will see why human resource management become important, and what are the various challenges, okay, faced by human resource managers in business organization nowadays. And later on, I will bring you to understand the human resource management, starting from the HR planning itself, the various HR processes, and little bit on reward system. And we will see why this is so important to ensure the success of business operations. Okay, I will start where I am going to start. My first slide is where it started. I asked this question. Actually, all this started from the field of economics. Okay, we do not have a field called human resource management about 60 years ago or 50 years ago. This is a new area, right? But we have this field of economics that we all well aware of, isn't it? The four factors of production: the land, labor, capital, and enterprise. And later on, we have evolved to the concepts of personnel management. The labor, the second production function, isn't it? Production function is labor, right? Of course, it refers to the efforts and skills of people who work to produce goods and service. That's how in economic it is defined, right? But when we're talking about the four factors of production here, we will see the labor and entrepreneurship are very important because it deals with human what do you call human resources. Without human resources, definitely there is no labor and entrepreneurship. So in fact, we will know when you're talking about production in economics, these two factors are very important, right? But later on, we will see the concept of labor has evolved, right, to various different concepts like human resources. We do not have the term human resources maybe 60 years ago, but we call this labor as human resources lately. Later on, the concept of labor is evolved to the concept of human capital, and even to an extent, it keep on evolving, and labor is now more defined as human potential, right? So these are I think it is important for business students to know what is actually the difference between these two concepts. But in economics, it is just called as labor, because when you're talking about labor are involved in the production, isn't it? In the production in the production activity, isn't it? In the economy. Okay, but when you're talking about labor, it is different. We have human resource concept of human resource, human capital, and human potential. Now we will see what is actually the difference between these three terms here. So let us first see. Human resources is actually refers to people. When you're talking about people, they are the workers in organization, business organization, or sometimes we call as employees who work for the organization and the department, right? And also the department which is responsible for managing all matters related to the employee. So we have two parts here. When I'm talking about human resources, it is actually all the employees who are working in the organization, and also it refers to the department, the specific department, we call the human resource department, who is actually responsible in coordinating all the matters related to the employees. We will see what are the matters related to employee. So this is what human resource is defined as, right? But when we move on to the concept of human capital, human capital is a bit different from human resources because it is more refers to the intangible value these employees in the organization, isn't it? Okay, bring to the organization to achieve the organization goals. Because we see every employee are very unique employees in organization. Everyone have certain capability and some specialty and some kind of behavior which is different from one another. So actually, these are the things which they bring, the intangible. Intangible meanings something that we cannot see, isn't it? It is like behavior, like their skills, okay, something like their experience and so on. So when we're talking about the intangible values, there are many. Okay, basically, when we're talking about human capital, definitely nowadays, we have to have people with educational background, isn't it? If you wanted to work as a lawyer, you need to have a bachelor in law degree. Only then you will be eligible to work as a lawyer, right? Not only that, other human capital is like your work experience that you may bring to the organization from your past employer. Isn't it? Not only that, when you work very long, sometimes you may have certain knowledge which we call as implicit knowledge, which is very difficult for others to copy. Only you will have because it is something that you get from your experience. Okay, knowledge also may refer to your IQ level, and also the other values are like the skills. Different employees may have different kind of skills which they develop themselves or they can learn from the organization, like leadership skills, communication skills, coaching skills. There are so many other skills which is help the employee to become an excellent employee to the organization, achieving the goals of the organization. So other intangible value are the abilities. Sometimes the health is also an intangible value, a important human capital, because you see, now most of the recruiters, they are concerning on the health background of the employees when they do the recruitment, because they don't want employee who are unhealthy, which will affect the productivity and causing a lot of issues in the organization. So health is also an important capital, isn't it? The others are like your loyalty, your behaviors, various kind of behavior, your loyalty to the organization, your punctuality, how well you manage your time, your innovativeness, because many organizations now want more employees who are creative and innovative to bring new ideas and changes to the organization. Because to stay competitive, we need to be innovative, right? This is a very important human capital. Others are like the helping behavior. You do something extra without being asked by your boss. Okay, we want this kind of extra behavior. We call this as voluntary helping behaviors. Something is also an important human capital. Okay, and also various types of intelligence that you bring in yourself. Sometimes when you're talking about the intelligence, there are various kind of intelligence you can see. And maybe one of you may have this specific intelligence. I do not know. You may be a good person in your interpersonal intelligence, isn't it? Sometimes you may have musical rhythmic intelligence, visual spatial intelligence, verbal linguistic intelligence, logical mathematical intelligence, isn't it? I think most of the economic students may be good in logical mathematical intelligence, right? Intrapersonal intelligence, naturalistic intelligence, moral intelligence, right? Existential intelligence, so much of intelligence. And these are all what we call as the intangible values the employees bring to the organization. So you see, the human being are very special one that need to be given more attention and priority by the managers, right? Okay, the third concept that I have introduced you in going to introduce is the concept of human potential. This is also something a new evolution, okay, from the concept of personal management. You evolve to human resource management. You evolve to human capital, then you go to human potential. Okay, this is something new. What is actually human potential? Okay, if you wanted to see human potential is something new, maybe you can learn more about this later. I just briefly going to tell you. It's about process of enhancing your capability and capacity by enriching your potential. And organization try to create and sustain environment that facilitate individuals in achieving their full potential to their own as well as the organization advantage. So we know everyone have some special potential in us. So we wanted to tap this potential for the betterment of the organization. So why with human potential becoming very important nowadays? Nowadays we see because we see significant lower importance placed by knowledge workers on monetary rewards. I think workers nowadays are not so harder for money, isn't it? I think they are very knowledgeable, and sometimes their parents are I mean, financially have good financial backup, so they don't really hard up for the money when they've been employed by an employer, right? Okay, because some of them, some of the parents earn well above the national average. Okay, in general. So improve quality of working life, improve quality of life in general, and various factors such as personal growth and operational autonomy are gradually likely to play a vital role in motivating more skilled and knowledgeable workforce like you all. Like you all are going to be more skilled and knowledgeable workforce. I think what going to motivate you more in the future is not really money. It is more on what are the quality of work life and other personal growth chances that you will get from your workplace, and also the operational autonomy, whether you are given the full autonomy to make decision. This kind of factors will actually attract you more for organization. And I think future managers must also uh, pay good attention on this human potential concept. So what is important here that uh, 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 the time has come to look at people in the corporation not as mere resources but as real partners. That is why the concept of human resources has been evolved, changed, because employees are less likely to see themselves as resources which could be used. Kalau I said resources, it is something that can be used or utilized or manipulated by the organization to achieve the organization objectives, isn't it? So that is why I think the concept has now moved to human potential. Okay, because we want to treat people as not as resources but as real partners who are going to help us to achieve the organizational goal. So if you wanted to explore more about human potential management, I think this is a good article. Maybe you can explore by Dr. Satish Kumar Kaira. It tells you beautifully about how this concept of human resources actually evolve to human potential management. But our my presentation today is not on human potential management but on human resource management. This is just an additional information for you all. Okay, you can explore more, you can go and browse, get some articles and read about this concept. So this is something for your thoughts lah. Okay, now I will move on. Okay, the concept of human resource management is actually is from the management process itself. I think in your subject, introduction to business study, I'm sure your lecturers has discussed about the management processes. So I think in the main four processes, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, I think the concept of human resource management comes under the organizing and the leading part of the management, because we need to ensure that all the departments, we need to ensure the structures are well established. So the structure of the organization is about what are the important functions and department that we need to form in order to achieve our organizational goals, isn't it? So when we're talking about organizing, the human resources already come in. Then leading, of course, we wanted to get good leaders and managers who can really motivate this team of employees to achieve the organization goal. So the organizing and leading process itself indirectly already discussed about the concept of human resource management. When we're talking about history of human resource management, when is this concept was first introduced? If you look back in 1954, Peter Drucker's best-selling book, Practice of Management, here is the concept of human resource was first time introduced, and after this, it is widely being used by researchers. So when we talk about human resource management, it is not a single discipline, but it is actually a combination, amalgamation of organizational behavior. You will have to talk about personal management, and you have to talk about industrial relations when we talk about human resource management. That is why it is a very broad concept. And in my presentation today, I will try to give you some idea about what this concept of human resource management is. First, we will look at the definition. From the definition, I think you will start to understand better the concept of human resource management. What is human resource management? It is the utilization of the firm's human asset to achieve organizational objective, right? Isn't it? Human resources is considered as an important asset. So we wanted to see how organization can utilize this to the best to achieve organizational objective. The second definition, I think it's more elaborate, where it says all the functions performed in organization that facilitates the most effective use of people to achieve organizational goals. So when you're talking about functions performed in organization that facilitate the most effective people, you must know what are the functions they are meaning here. There are many HR functions that need to be performed, which can facilitate the effective use of people. So what are these functions? If you look at the, if you look back, okay, these are the main functions actually discussed here. When we're talking about HRM, human resource management, we have to discuss these processes which involve the important functions, as what we see in the definition just now, functions. So we will start from human resource planning, right? Planning, everything starts from a good planning, right? After that, you are going to identify, okay, going to recruit the right type of people for your organization. Where are you going to find them? Okay, we will discuss about later. Once you recruit them, now you have to select. Select mean you have to sort of like shortlist the best candidate for your organization, isn't it? Okay, after selection, you already decided to take them as the best employee for organization. You give them an offer letter. Okay, you ask them to join the organization. Okay, now this employee will come and join the organization, and this is where the next stage will start. The next function is for you to have a orientation and induction of this employee. We will see what is orientation and induction later. It is like familiarizing the employees to the culture of the organization, right? And the tasks and duties that we're going to ask him to perform. Okay. Once he undergo the orientation, he will now send to his department and he will be asked to do his job. Okay. While doing his job, it is the task of the human resource department to ensure proper training and development is given lah, right? So this is a big area where human resource management need to concentrate, and later on you will need to also appraise. Appraise here means evaluate, menilai, isn't it? Menilai prestasi, we call it penilaian prestasi, or evaluation, performance evaluation, which comes under the performance management function. Not only that, if you perform well, you need to compensate them accordingly, right? There are various type of compensation. We will also discuss about that. And it doesn't stop there, but you will now move on to career development. You must ensure that employees feel satisfied and they see some kind of progress in the organization. They see a succession ladder, right? Where they can be promoted to a better position. So you need to do some kind of career development activities, which also are an important function of human resource management. So briefly, I'm going to discuss about this. Okay, so I'm just going to share you about little one article, a good article that I have read in the in the internet about the concept of human resource management in Indonesia. It is an article which was written quite some time back, 2003. At that time, according to the authors, Lane and Ahmad, okay, they said at that time, in 2003, little attention has been given to human resource management in Indonesia, okay, because HRM limited mostly to labor economics and macro level human resource development at that time. We don't have a special field of study called human resource management, right? And in this paper, the author stressed that internal factors and external factors need to be considered in the in the application of human resource management in Indonesia, right? Internal factors such as the technology, organizational structure, organizational size, okay, organization life cycle stages, business strategy as internal factors, and various other external factors legal, social, political, like market condition, industry characteristics, all need to be considered to develop the concept of HRM in Indonesia. Okay, and in this paper also, they said there are few factors leading to the growth in HRM in Indonesia not in Indonesia. So this I'm going to discuss about in general. This slide is we are going to look at in general what are the factors leading to the growth in HRM. Okay. So the growth in HRM, we are going to see why many business organizations focus and pay more attention to the human resource management in organization. Okay, why? Because we see as human resource, as a human, what do you call, potential, right? We know this employee can contribute well to the productivity in the organization. So the management really accept of the importance of human contribution to productivity, right? And this forces employers to treat their workforce very, very well, right? Because your profit is actually you gain from your employees, your human resources. So it is your responsibility of employer to treat them well, okay? To treat this workforce well. So this is why HRM growth, the first one. The second point is the development of trade union. You see, trade union actually now unionism has developed very vast in many industries to protect the workers' rights, isn't it? And to ensure that employees cannot exploit their workforce arbitrarily, isn't it? So this is why we see HRM have their special industrial relations department to handle any matters but pertaining to workers' right. Okay, as more and more trade unions being developed, so there is a need for organization to have a good human resource management department to handle this. Okay, the third is we see the uniformity in personal practice enable managers concentrate on the area of specialization. What this point number 3 says is that managers who are actually running their departments, that for example a marketing manager or a production manager or finance manager, they don't want to get disturbed with a lot of personal problems, problems created by the workers, because they actually need more time to concentrate on their area of specialization. So this is why it become important that many organizations want some specific department like HRM department to handle all these employee related matters, and let the managers to concentrate on their functional areas. Okay. So this is another reason. And then also we're going to see why there is a growth in HRM, human resource management in many organizations, is because increasing employment legislation. Legislation here refers to the undang-undang what do you call perundangan, the laws. Okay, employment laws. Okay, there are many employment laws. Okay, for example, I'm sure you are quite aware of all the HR related laws in Indonesia, like the manpower law, industrial relation dispute law, labor union law. And also here in Malaysia, we have many employment laws such as Employment Act, 1959 Industrial Relations Act, Trade Union Ordinance, Employee Social Security Act, Employee Provident Fund Act, Pension Act. All these laws will ensure that the rights of the employees are well taken care of. So, of course, the line managers cannot look into these matters, but we need a specific department and experts to take care of this. Okay, maybe the industrial relations department, for example, because we have to adhere to the requirements set by the laws, right? Otherwise, we are answerable to the government, right? So I think that are the four leading growth in human resource management factors leading to the growth in human resource management. More and more company forming human resource management department in their organization. Okay, I just wanted to interrupt. Am I audible? Am I clear? Is my voice is clear? Everyone can hear?
Yes, your voice is clear. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much for the response, Zidani.
Welcome.
All right. Okay, now I will move on to the next important component. Why it is important for organization to establish an effective HRM practice. Okay. So we will talk about this HRM functions later, but we wanted to know why it is becoming so important. Okay. Because we see if you have a good HRM practice, most of the employees who are being employed in the organization will be very highly satisfied with the job environment, okay, with their bosses, with everything related to the job, isn't it? And this will lead to higher commitment. They will be highly committed to the jobs. They will be more involved in the job. They will be more engaged in the job. Okay, and this will help to increase their motivation level. Okay, this is the first benefits of HRM practice, because we have this HRM department actually to motivate the employee. Okay, we ensure we have the right people in our organization and they are always motivated to do the job. They are happy and they will be retained longer in the organization. Okay, this is the second reason, benefits. Okay, if we have a good HRM practice, it will improve employee retention rate. What is retention rate here means? How many employees retain will stay longer in the organization after they've been recruited, isn't it? So this is opposite to employee turnover. Okay, we wanted to actually reduce the employee turnover in organization, isn't it? That is the opposite of retention, because we see employee turnover become a big issue in many organizations, because many employees sort of like just wanted to stay very short. Okay, wanted to stay very short in the organization, and then they leave the organization for other to other organization, maybe to get higher salaries or many other reasons, right? So when an employee leaves the organization, it become a big cost, isn't it, for the management to train another new employee. So this is why I think we must ensure the retention rate is always higher in organization, or the turnover rate is always low. Okay, the other benefits of effective HRM practice will be, of course, as what we have discussed earlier, it will help to improve the productivity and creativity of the employees, because of various kind of initiatives and activities planned by the HR managers, right? This will, of course, will help to achieve this objective. And of course, the final goal, if we have a good HRM practice, okay, this is the point where you will have higher sales and profitability, be it production organization or service organization. Your final aim is to get as much sales and higher profitability, isn't it? So these are the final important benefits we can see. Okay, now I'm going to show you what is the structure of a HRM department will be like in small organization. Of course, any organization, we have people who are going to help to run the business, right? If a retail business, okay, of course, we have a very small number of people, right? But we don't have a organization, a specific department to handle this. Okay, but for small organization, maybe there is no specific HR department, but it comes under the administration department, because production and marketing are the core department, but this will be supported by the administrative department. And under the administrative department, you may have a specific roles, like an employment clerk, okay, who will be handling most of the human resource matters lah, like the recruitment, okay, and then they will be handling dia punya what you call salary administration, right? And things like that. Okay, we don't have a specific human resource department in small organization, but in big organization, of course, it's very clear. Okay, we have a special function called human resource department, which is actually headed by a personnel manager, and also who will be reporting to the director of human resources, who will be later reporting to the managing director. So we have a very full-fledged functions of human resource under this big organizational structure. For example, we have an employment manager who will be only focusing on employment matters, like planning, recruitment, placement. We have human resource development manager who will be focusing mainly on orientation tasks, induction, training, appraisal, career planning for the employees. Okay, we may have a specific department called compensation headed by a manager who will be mostly involved in tasks like job evaluation, okay, establishing the salary, and then conduct salary survey to ensure that their salary is competitive compared to other industries. Okay, they will they will be reviewing the benefits offered, incentives, and all that. Okay, of course, the next one will be industrial relations manager, who will be focusing on the industrial relations and ensuring all the labor laws are adhered, right? And maybe other department which are relevant lah, like sometimes we have employee welfare department, things like that. So I think we have a very complete function under a big organizational structure, right? Okay, now we are going to ask this question: who is actually responsible in managing the employees? Okay, and employee matters. Okay, we cannot say that employee matters is only taken care by human resource department. No, if you see in many organization, okay, of course we have a staff manager or HR manager who will be heading many human resource functions like what we have seen here. Okay, but he is the not only person responsible for managing employees, but we also see line managers, all other functional managers like marketing manager, production manager, finance manager, facilities managers, right? All these are line managers are also responsible in managing the employees. Okay, or anyone who has subordinates, because as long as he has subordinates, like production supervisor, okay, he maybe has about maybe 10 production operators who report directly under him. So this production supervisor is responsible in managing the matters pertaining to the employee. For example, performance appraisal. He is the one who's going to give marks on the performance of the employees, not the staff manager, not the HR manager. So this supervisors and managers and line managers have an equal responsibility in managing the employee. But what is important here, you must know, the managers and supervisors need the help of the HR specialist to ensure the human resources are managed effectively and productively to achieve the organizational goals. Because as what I said earlier, okay, these functional managers will have to focus on their department. So, but they will have to get the help of HR specialists, okay, to matters pertaining to human resources, right? Okay, so human resource managers are usually staff managers. So they assist and advise line managers with recruiting, hiring and compensation. So you see, human resource managers actually will help the staff managers, right, in these matters. However, line managers still have human resource duties, as what I say. Just now I give an example. They will have to identify what is the best suitable type of training that need to be given to their subordinates. Okay, and then what kind of supports that we need to give. Okay, what the performance appraisal, he need to decide what method he's going to do. All these actually the managers, line managers will need to do. So now we are going to see what is the roles of the HR manager. Okay, we wanted to see what is the role of the HR manager as a staff manager in the organization. The first one will be he play a role of advising and counseling other managers. Other managers are line managers like marketing manager, finance manager and all that. He will give his advice and counsel to other managers. Second, human resource managers also maintain proper personnel system. Personnel meaning here all the employees. He have to keep all the records, okay, about their demographic data, okay, about all their personal data, about their performance data. All this must be kept in the system. Okay, this is the HR manager's role. And also he must ensure uniformity of personal practices and procedures. What does this mean? Okay, human resource manager must ensure all department, line department, must ensure uniformity of practices. For example, let's say they are involving a performance appraisal. Make sure that all department have a same type of system of appraisal to be followed. We don't want different what you call departments have different system. Okay, then it will cause a lot of dissatisfaction among the employees, isn't it? So they will ensure the uniformity of these personal practices. And the last one, they will need to maintain harmonious employer-employee relationship. Okay, so actually they are trying to narrowing the gap between the management and the workers. This is actually the main important role of HR manager. Okay, so that the employer will have more trust and they will contribute to the organizational success. Yeah. Okay, the next issue that I'm going to discuss here is the challenges. The challenges of human resource management. What are the challenges? Nowadays, you see many HR managers or HR people working under the HR department. Okay, they are facing a lot of challenges. So I will just give you some. I think I will go very fast. Okay, these are the main challenges. The technological changes and occupational patterns. You see, alter the employment and occupational patterns nowadays, because those days we don't have much technology in performing our tasks, but now we have a lot of tasks that need to be done using computer. So we will have a challenge to recruit people with more digital knowledge, things like that, who have computer literacy. Okay, and if you don't have people who have this computer literacy, you have to plan for training, train them to achieve digital literacy and so on. So this is a big challenge actually, technology changes that happen nowadays. Okay, other challenge is demographic diversity. Some organization will have people with different ethnic background, racial background, okay, and also sometimes you will have more older workers in organization, more female workers. How are you going to manage this diversity in demographic also becoming a big challenge to the organization, because it affects the management of the employees. Next is the knowledgeable and skillful employees require new HR strategy. This is why, because we see educational factors like democratization of higher learning and e-knowledge, isn't it? It create a more skilled and knowledgeable workforce, isn't it? So the human resource management has to formulate various strategies to capitalize on this competitive advantage, because we see employees nowadays are very knowledgeable because they learn, okay, they have high degrees, they have a lot of certification, they know a lot of e-knowledge staffs and so on. So HRM has to formulate the right strategy to capitalize on this specific group of employees. Okay, of course, other challenges is like the globalization challenge and its consequences lah. Okay, so when we have globalization, we have more people from other countries who have to come and work, sometimes apply to work in our organization. Okay, so worldwide culture and international alliances will require HRM manager to manage cross-cultural differences in its workforce. This is a big challenge lah, because you will have to deal with employees with different cultural background, right? So you will need to understand their culture and make them adapt to this new work environment, right? Normally, multinational corporations will have this challenge. Okay, so other thing is like the new attitudes and lifestyle. Also, we see can influence the role of human resource manager to adapt the work environment and various practices lah, to enable provisions for employees to balance work and family commitments, isn't it? Work and leisure as well as community contribution. Okay, so this is another one. Social changes also, there are many there are many employees with dual career families. Okay, some with single parents require more family friendly policies in the workplace. So this is also becoming a big challenge. Okay, if you wanted to see what are HRM challenges in Indonesia, from the article that I've learned, they said culture change and having efficiency become main priority of HR managers in both civil and private sectors. Another challenge in Indonesia, which I read from the article, is talent search lah. They find it is quite difficult to get talented people who can sit in certain jobs. Maybe like data analyst, for example. Talent search is seen as a major challenge for service industry. Okay, in the civil sector, there is a need for less bureaucratic behavior and more entrepreneurial behavior lah. Okay, this is what one of the important challenges face in the reading, in the article that I've learned in one of the articles, in journal articles. Okay, now we will going to look at how to effectively manage HR employees in the organization. How? This is a very important question. Question that HR managers need to answer, people in the HR field need to answer, all the line managers also need to answer, because we are dealing with people, the potential. Okay, now we will begin with the HR planning. We will start with the HR process. Okay, so what is actually human resource planning? We have to do a good planning. Okay, planning here refers to processes by which HR needs of an organization are determined, and the organization ensure it has the right number of qualified people in the right jobs at the right time. This is actually plan. You plan for the correct number of people that needed. Okay, you cannot have more people, then it will be a surplus of workers, which will be a big waste, isn't it? So you must exactly know what is the correct right number of people, of qualified people in the right jobs at the right time. This is actually the definition of HR planning. When we're talking about HR planning, this is the most important thing that I think most HR managers or line managers will have to do. They have to do the forecast, the demand for the employees for the respective department. They have to forecast the supply of the employees, and also they have to discuss how they're going to balance the supply and demand, right? Now we're going to discuss a little bit on the planning process lah. So forecasting demand of employees, we have two methods, qualitative approach and quantitative approach. So how do you know how many employees you will need in your department in next year, for example? So we can answer this question through a qualitative approach and quantitative approach. If a qualitative approach, we are commonly known as Delphi method. Delphi method is actually, we will ask for the opinions and judgments of the supervisors, isn't it? Okay, of other departmental heads about what is their evaluation, or what does the intuition, okay, it is like their intuition from the experience, they can suggest a number which is quite close to the estimate. So using a very subjective way getting the opinions. Okay, maybe you will get opinion from all the department, and from there you will finally conclude what will be the total employees that will be needed for your entire organization. Okay, so this is a qualitative method still being used in many organizations, right? And nowadays, I think many organizations go for a quantitative forecasting method lah. I think quantitative method, there are many methods. If in the statistics, you have this using the moving average, exponential smoothing, or trend analysis. Okay, where you will be based on past historical data, you will try to forecast the needs of the human resource in your organization. Based on sales volume or labor need, you will do some kind of demand. Okay, for example, past historic data. Okay, maybe using the past 6 months data, you wanted to know what will be the expected uh, sales for January for this month 25. Or if you have the workforce data, then from there you can make a estimated forecast using maybe the moving average method or the smoothing constant method. So this is one of the forecasts for 25 months lah, using a 3 months and 4 months moving average. I think if you have learned statistics, you will know how to conduct this forecast, okay, using moving average 3 months and moving average 4 months, where we will try to what do you call estimate the forecast for month 25 based on the smallest error, forecast error that has been achieved. So in this case, we have mean absolute deviation, mean standard error, and mean absolute percentage error. Okay, here you have to compare whether using 3 months or 4 months, which yields you the lowest error. So in this case, of course, for month 25, we'll be using 147.3. I think if you have done statistics, you will understand this projection for forecasting for the future month. Okay, this is just an example to share to you. Okay, so we will now move on to forecasting the supply of the employees. Okay, how would you forecast the supply of the employees? How many employees are now you have in your organization? So normally we will do an internal audit of manpower, and also we will do the evaluation of external supply of manpower. We will now move on to the internal audit of manpower. What is internal audit? Internal audit of manpower. We are going to look at how many existing employees you think is now enough to meet your production goals for the coming year, for example. So there are a few methods here, like staffing table and Markov analysis. It's just going to give you a forecast on the number of employees needed. Skill inventories, replacement charts, and succession plans basically focus on the competency of the employees, whether you have enough people who have the right competency to perform the job. Okay, so maybe I don't want to go further. You can at least know these are the methods used in internal audit of manpower. You can study this in various other sources in textbooks or from your internet search. Okay, because I think I have to cover a few things. Evaluation external supply, we are going to basically look at the environmental scanning, right? And also government's rules and regulations. We can see whether we will have enough supply of manpower, right? Whether they will be able to help in your organization. These employees will be able to help in your organization. Okay, sometimes you see in Singapore, right? They have raised their pension age, isn't it? To 65, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it? So this has shown that they will have enough manpower, right? Like the aging population to actually support the organization, right? In Malaysia, I think we have also increased the pension age from 55 to 58 now to 60. So we will now know there will be more supply of, even though they are age employee, we can still recruit them if we really want, right? Actually in the civil sector. Okay, and these government rules and regulations also can give you an idea whether there are enough supply of employees. Sometimes migration factors also, you can see if you have any what do you call, any considerable demographic changes, okay, in national and regional economics, political education, okay, which actually maybe allow for migration of employees to certain, sometimes they may give some kind of tax exemption, right? This will allow employee to migrate to certain countries, isn't it? So this data is also will be examined to check for the availability and supply of employees for that particular jobs lah. So there can be many types of jobs here. Okay. So when the next one is will be balancing the demand and supply of employees, right? And if you know your economy is in full employment, normally you have excess of employees here, which you can actually make use of this employee if you have higher orders lah in the organization. So you can turn to overtime, right? Or sometimes you can recruit more temporary and contract employees if you think you don't wanted to have more permanent staffs. Okay, so in the case you have excess labor, let's say you have excess labor already, but you don't have enough what do you call, orders from your customers. So of course you will have what do you call, excess supply, which is redundant. So in this case, how are you going to balance that? Of course, you're going to choose some downsizing method lah. Like for example, you're going to retrench this employee, or you may wanted to offer them VSS. VSS here refers to voluntary separation scheme lah, meaning if they are voluntarily wanted to take to leave the organization by taking a special financial package that you're going to offer to them. If they are willing, then they can take and then leave the organization. So in this case, you can sort of like balance the oversupply of the laborers in your organization. Okay. So I think the last one will be the HR processes, which is quite lengthy here. When you're talking about HR processes, all the HR human resource management will be dealing with these important HR processes. These are the key HR processes actually overseen by the human resource management. It starts with job analysis, employee recruitment, employee selection, orientation and induction, training and development, performance appraisal, compensation and benefits, and maybe safety and health. These are the main important processes, okay, involved in human resource management. Okay, so when you're talking about the job analysis, okay, what is actually job analysis? Okay, a human resource manager, okay, must gather some information about the content and human requirements of the job. Okay, so this is what job analysis is, because in an organization, a business organization, there are many types of jobs exist. The jobs in the marketing is different from job in the production department, which is different from the accounting finance department, which is different to the maintenance department. So you must know, you must analyze information about the content and the human requirement of the job, isn't it? You have to conduct this, okay, this job analysis to know what are the activities this employee going to perform, isn't it? And why is job analysis is necessary to be performed by human resource management department, right? Why it is important? Because it is going to uh, give you an idea what will be the special tasks and responsibility that need to be assigned to these employees, right? So you must ensure that you don't give them too much of job, okay? Otherwise they will be very exhausted, okay? They will be thinking the demand is very high, right? We won't be satisfied with the job. So you have to know what is the content of the job. By doing the job analysis, you will know what are the actual tasks that need to be done for the employees. So So when organizations wanted to newly set up, let's say you wanted to form a new organization or department, you do not you have experience of the people before. So in this case, you're going to have new appointees, isn't it? New positions. So you must know what these new positions entails. What are the tasks that they must do, isn't it? When you create new jobs, you have to conduct job analysis. Okay, there are various kind of job analysis methods lah. Okay, you're going to sometimes observe how people do the job. You will collect the information from there. Okay, sometimes you will like sort of like observe and take the um, do an employee diary. You log a kept ask the workers to keep some logbook what they have done. Okay, every day, and from there you can actually get this information. Okay, and the final document that you're going to achieve here is job description and job job specification. And these are the two job documents that every employee will need to know when they join the organization. Because when you are given a job offer to join organization, you will ask your boss, what is the job that I have need to do, isn't it? You don't have to just rely on what he orally tell you to do, but you can ask if there is any job description document that you can check, because you have all the right to check that, isn't it? Because it will give you what are the duties that you need to perform. So this is the final job description document that will tell you about what are the important essential duties and responsibility, the working conditions and terms and conditions of employment, all will be described. Job specification is another document, will tell you what are the special skills and abilities that is needed for you to perform the job. So if you find that you are lack in certain abilities or skills, you can ask your boss to get you trained in that particular abilities, isn't it? So because these abilities is important for you to perform the task. So these two documents are very important one. You can always ask from your future boss if you are offer a job in the future, right? Okay, the second important process in human resource management is recruitment. Okay, so what is recruitment? So what is recruitment? So if we define recruitment as what? The process of filling job vacancy with suitable people, that's all. Okay, let's say there is a vacancy in your organization. Okay, how are you going to fill the vacancy? So basic steps in the recruitment, you have to analyze the job, okay, and attracting the candidates, and finally you have to select them, and then you do a job offer. Okay, so that is the recruitment process lah. Okay, how are you going to identify where are the sources of recruitment? Where are you going to find these people who are going to fill this vacancy? There are many external sources and internal sources. External sources, there are many. Okay, you can source out from the outside the company. Okay, using the various ways like media advertisement through internet, or sometimes you advertise in newspaper, trade journals, or business magazines, radio, television, whoever lah. Sometimes you may also put in banners and posters. Okay, for manufacturing employee, you will always see there are banners outside the road, isn't it? They said we are recruiting production operators. Okay, with a salary of such and such, and you can apply. Okay, so this is actually sourcing from the external source. Okay. Okay, and then you can also source from educational bodies. Sometimes some employer will go to certain schools and universities, educational bodies like secondary, vocational school, colleges and universities. Okay, they will try to recruit the students, okay, who will be potential employees in the organization. Okay, sometimes they will also have apprenticeship, okay, and internship. Okay, what is internship? I think you may also have become an intern in organization, okay, where internship is a special recruitment that places students in temporary job with no obligation, either by the company or to hire the students permanently, or by the students to accept a permanent position with the firm, meaning you will be just offer them to just come and do this job for a very short period of time. Sometimes if you feel that their skill is good, they show a good performance, sometimes you can recruit this intern. Okay, the next method is you write in, unsolicited write in. Here is you yourself write a letter to the employer and ask if there is any vacancy in the organization. Or sometimes you can just walk in to the organization and make an application at the organization there, right? Using the form that has been provided and so on. Okay, sometimes external sources could be also personal recommendation from other parties lah, who can also recommend certain employees to the organization. Okay, these are external sources. And when talking about internal sources, normally you will recruit from existing employees, isn't it? Sometimes if there is a higher level post, maybe you will think of to promote this employee to that field, okay, to that position, internal source. Okay, or you wanted to think a person from a different department, you wanted to place him in another department, you may also thinking of recruiting from the existing employees. Okay, that is recruitment, identifying who will be the right person to filling the job vacancies. Okay, suitable people. Okay, the next process, employee selection. Once you get the recruitment list with you, you're not going to take everyone there. You may have maybe 20 choice, but you only need 4 people. Right now, you will need to select who will be the best 4 people out of the 20 people that you have recruited. Understand? Now you're going to do a selection. Okay, what is selection? Selection is normally you're choosing the individuals who have the relevant qualification to fill the job in the company lah. Okay, so it is more than choosing the best available person lah. Okay, to get a fit between what the applicant can and want to do and what the organization need. It is actually finding the fit between the organization and the job applicant. This is more about selection, right? And talking about selection process, actually you can do selection from application form itself that has been filled up by the employees. Okay, or you can make a special interview. There are 3 type of employee interview. The one we will discuss later, and also employment test. So interview, you may have a structured approach interview, semi-structured approach interview, or stress type of interview, because you wanted to find whether they are really suitable for the job, isn't it? So employers can choose any types of this interview method. Who going to interview? Okay, normally the departmental head, for example, let's say a marketing department manager, right, wants a sales executive under his department. So he is the one who's going to come and do this selection interview, right? But however, there are some limitations of interview lah, right? So you must know what are the limitations of the interview, because interview cannot assess factors like actual job performance or personality or level of motivation. This is the problem. You will just know a few things about the employer, but I mean from about the candidate, but you will not know a lot of like their personality or level of motivation and all the things. Because you see, sometimes there are some candidates who are tend to can play act, and it is very difficult for the interviewer to detect whether they are telling the truth. They can act as if it is true, but when they are be given the job offer, when they are taken into organization, they really cannot perform well. Okay, so there are many problems lah in interview, in limitations of interview. Cases like what we call biasness can also happen. Certain interviewer may be biased towards certain employer.
Dr. Ramesh, sorry, so your time is over actually. So I give you time 10 minutes maximum. Is it okay?
Okay, just a few
Okay.
minutes. I think I will finish this. Ken? Okay, so talking about employment tests, there are many aptitude tests, achievement tests, vocational tests, because we wanted to know the employee really know what they are doing. Okay, the next one will be the orientation, which is also a big process. We wanted to have a guided adjustment of the new workers to the company. And there are many reasons why it is important for you to get familiarized with the organization. And of course, training, you have to train them well. Okay, there are two types of training, on the job and off the job training. Talking about on-the-job training, you rotate employee from department. Sometimes supervisors coach and mentor while the do mentoring while the employees performing the job. Off the job, there are many like role playing, classroom, training, business management, games, and so on. The next function is performance appraisal. This is you're giving marks to the employee's performance end of the day. We call this appraisal. Okay, there are many methods to do this, and who will conduct this? Of course, many people can conduct the performance appraisal. The employee do self-appraisal. Their friends can do peer rating appraisal. The boss will rate them. Sometimes outsiders also can do the appraisal and give marks. But finally, the supervisor will decide the final marks. Okay, so that's all about the processes. I think I will stop here because we have discussed mainly all the important processes. Which is job analysis, recruitment, selection, orientation, training, appraisal, compensation, and safety and health. I think with that, I will end my presentation here. So I can open to the students to ask any question related to what I have delivered today. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and also to Dr. Cahyo. Back to you.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. May I ask?
Yes.
So when you were talking about human resources, you said it refers to the number of employees in a department.
Number
Or
of
in,
again.
yeah, okay. But when you were talking about the human capital, you were talking about it refers to the intangible value of the human or yeah of the employees. So what's the benefit if I know this intangible value of the employees while they are doing the same job? For example, some of them they have musical skills. You said statistic or mathematical skills. What's the benefit if I know this? If I know these values while they are just doing a fixed job?
First, you must know, you need to identify whether they possess this intelligence for them to perform the specific job, isn't it? So when you're doing the selection, you must ensure that they have this potential, right? How are you going to know whether they have this specific what do you call ability? You have to sometimes conduct certain tests to know that they are really possess this specific intelligence, isn't it? So through the test, actually, we can identify whether they really have this intelligence with them. Understand? Only then you can identify whether there will be the right person for the job that you are going to offer. Do you get my answer? Well,
Yeah. So the like when we know the skills, we can or recruit them in the right place. That's what you mean.
exactly. So you must evaluate whether they have the intelligence or not. How you're going to do this? You have certain kind of tests that you need to conduct. For example, you have IQ tests, you have emotional tests, you have a dexterity test, a lot of tests. If you, even for the musical test also, you will need to have ask them to sit for a test, and then you will evaluate the marks based on the test. Understand? So
Yeah.
we
Okay.
wanted to see the actual potential which can bring from them. Okay, thank you for the question.
You're
Good
welcome.
question, very good question.
Hello.
Yes, Irfan is speaking.
Yeah, my name is Irfan. So I have a question to ask. So regarding the what you just said, you just mentioned about the growth and development for the company regarding the human resources, right?
Okay, again, I can't hear. Could you please talk a bit louder?
As you just mentioned about the growth and development
Yeah.
in terms of human resource management,
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask if can you explain about the how human resource management can effectively identify and address the skills gap within the organization as it helps to enhance the workforce capabilities.
Oh, enhancing the workforce capabilities. Yeah, it's a good question, huh? Um, Actually, when you're talking about development is, okay, what you are actually measuring here is whether they perform according to the standard that has been set earlier, isn't it? Huh? If they did not perform according to the standards that we have set, so of course, we can say that they need some extra kind of help, assistance in for them to perform better in the next year, for example. So in this case, when they did not perform well, this is where you're going to propose for some kind of developmental activities for them. Understand? So talking about developmental activities, this is what I've discussed earlier. There are many ways. How are you going to make sure that they can grow and develop in their job? Of course, the supervisor need to help them, isn't it? They will know what are their weaknesses, right? So based on their weaknesses, they have to identify what will be the right type of help to be given. Sometimes it could be a simple training or coaching and mentoring from the supervisors part, isn't it? While the employee is performing the job, the supervisor will go to his place and will teach him, okay, where lacks in these jobs, which are the areas he can perform better, right? Where are his weaknesses? He will pinpoint masa dia buat coaching while he is doing the coaching and mentoring. From there, this employee will develop the skills which is lacking. Understand? Can you get me, Irfan?
Yes, thank you.
Is it clear, my explanation?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, thank you for the question.
Assalamualaikum.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Mohammed?
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, I have a question to ask.
Yes.
And my question is AI applied in human resource management? And if it is applied in human resource management, what should the human resource managers do to ensure that there's job security in the market?
Oh, you're talking about AI software, is it?
Yes, if whether AI is applied in human resource management today.
Yeah,
And if it is okay.
Yeah, definitely it's a good question because in the era of digital explosion, now we are now in the digital explosion age. Of course, we are talking about AI, right? Machine learning and all that. Okay, how this can actually play a role in human resource management. Of course, when you're talking about AI, we will first look at that computer technology, right? We see those days most of the data management is handled manually. Okay, we will have more manual kind of recording of data, isn't it, of the management data of the people, right? We'll have our filing system and all that. Now I think most of the organization already opt for various kind of computers, assisted systems, like human resource information system, which are actually special computer software packages, where most of the data can be installed, right? There are many external computer what do you call consulting company providing this special software. For example, SAP Analytics. There are many organizations go for SAP Analytics. In this SAP Analytics AI, they will have a special module called SAP um, HR, SAP HR, right? And where you will be actually using this software to record all your information and also integrate, okay, your activities between different department. For example, you can integrate your training data, training requirement data with other functions. So this is actually the integrative system actually helps a lot many human resource management department, right? In achieving their or to what you call monitor their processes much easily actually. Although it is costly sometimes, but it makes them to do a lot of tasks. Like for example, let's say they wanted to communicate something, they will just be communicating this in the system, and all the employees who are linked with the softwares can easily get this information without they have to go to the particular person to listen, or to get this information, or to particular HR department to get this information. Sometimes the marks, for example, their performance appraisal marks, they can easily check through the system, and compare with their past performances. And from here, actually, it will help them to sort of like plan well, okay, their future works with the organization. Am I answer your question, Mohammed?
Yes, you're answering the question, but I just want to give a follow question. Like, for example, if the application of AI possesses, let's say, a risk to employees in the market, how do you think the human resource manager should work in addressing this problem?
Yeah, well, can you give an example of a problem?
Like, if, for example, like the application of AI causes unemployment, like let's say in the market, in the job market, how should the human resource managers, let's say, apply AI responsibility and so that there's no unemployment that results to the use of AI?
Okay, it all depends on the financial capability of the organization, isn't it? Not all organizations have the capability to have AI applications in the organization, isn't it? So in this case, maybe bigger organization may have that opportunity, right, to make use of these AI facilities to address some of the problems related to HR matters. Okay, but not all organizations, because it deals with some expensive financial softwares.
Thank you, I understand.
Okay, thank you for the question, Muhammad.
Can I ask question?
Ramzidin, yes. What is your question,
I want
Ramzidin?
to ask how can human resource management and operations management collaborate effectively to balance workforce efficiency and employee satisfaction, especially in industries with high turnover rates?
Okay, very good question. Of course, when you're talking about human resource management, and the core, one of the core functions of business is production management and operations management, right? And in fact, how they can collaborate is human resource management will try to give all the supports to the operations department, right? In monitoring the progress of the workers, right? They will ensure that, for example, if you have a worker in the operations department, right, we must ensure that uh, after they have performed the job, we have to make sure that we appraise them. Appraise meaning evaluate the performance well, isn't it? So in order to do this performance appraisal, you have to follow certain steps, isn't it? For example, you have to perform some kind of interviews with them, right? Follow up with documentation of their performance. All this you have to do, right? So in case yeah, the supervisor and the line manager forgets, normally the HR manager will keep on reminding him to make sure that he complete all the processes, and this will help him to make a better performance appraisal of the employee. So if the supervisor now do a very fair performance appraisal, of course the employee in the operations department will be more happy, satisfied with that appraisal marks, isn't it? And this will lead to higher motivation, and this will lead to higher productivity in the future. Let's say the employee is not satisfied with the ratings, performance rating given. Why is not satisfied? Maybe because there is something lack with the supervisor, who did not follow all the procedures that he is supposed to follow in order to do a proper performance appraisal, isn't it? If he skip certain steps, maybe he is not fully what do you call what do you call he's not fully follow all the important steps in order to give a good rating. So he's not biased. Huh? So when he's not biased, employees will be more happier, right? And also we also on the aspects of development, right? So he can also ask what type of developmental activities that can be suggested for these employees who did not perform well in the operations department, isn't it? Huh? So HRM maybe will give them what are the list of maybe a workshop or training that can be attended by these employees. And later, once the employee attended, they can improve their skills, okay, and their knowledge, and they can perform better. And of course, this will help them to improve the productivity. So in this way, we can see there is always a relationship between HR department and the operations department, right? And ensuring these employees can be satisfied in the job that they have done.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Ramizidin. Thank you. Any questions from others?
I think there is a question from Ramzidin.
No, I ask him now.
Okay, so sorry. Yes.
If there is time and there is a possibility for another question, may I ask?
Yes, again, Dr. Chawyo, could you please repeat again?
It was me. I said if there is a
Zidandi.
time and there is possibility for another question, may I ask?
Yeah, what is the question, Zidani?
Okay, the question is, you were talking previously about how to manage the human resources or organize. So you were saying we should open like offices to organize human resources. We should train them. We should qualify them or do activities for them to fit the company or the places. So, and when you were talking about the benefits, you were saying like the benefits is they will be more satisfied, they will be more committed to work. So the cost of the training is explicit cost. So it means the company will pay money, but the benefit, as I see, is intangible benefit. So just it will be satisfaction and this committed for the company. So how can I make sure this cost will not exceed the benefit?
Oh, the cost cannot exceed the
benefit.
This is quite a tough question to answer. Huh? Because you see, this is one of the challenges of the human resource department. They will always want the employees to stay in the organization, isn't it? Huh? They will always hope that they will stay longer, right? But you see, sometimes even after they spend so much of money providing a very good training for them, ask them to attend maybe a good workshop or obtaining the skill from any particular place, right? You can still see some employees, even though they are satisfied, but sometimes there is a tendency that they may quietly quit the job, because if other organization can offer them a better compensation, better salary, better benefits, of course they will go and leave the organization, isn't it? This is something which is outside the control of the management. So how we wanted to see whether the cost and benefits is very difficult thing to answer, because you may spend so much of money, but you may have a chance to lose this good employee. But how are you going to retain this employee? This is the issue. This is a big challenge. Okay. Because you don't want, after you spend so much of money, right? They still wanted to leave your organization, because the cost is very higher, right? So this is something which most of the human resource managers think very seriously lah, of addressing this issue, right? Because as what I say, the turnover intention rate is becoming very high nowadays. Because why? There are more greener pastures outside there. The company, the employees can always leave if they wanted to. Okay, but how to build this trust, loyalty is something that you have to think lah. How are you going to build it? Because it's actually a culture. Like if you see in the Japanese country, you see they have a culture of high loyalty and trust. They won't leave even though they don't receive much benefits or what from the organization. They tend to work for the same organization from the first day until they retire. This is the Japanese culture. But the Asian culture, we don't have this culture. We tend to job hopping happens very extensively. So this is something also issue of culture of the people of that particular country. Am I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. Like what I understood is like the benefit is just like it's based on assumption. There is no clear benefit that you can touch or you can gain or can see or observe.
Right, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Zirani, for the question. Good
Uh,
question.
okay.
How many total students attended this forum today? You have the old student, regular student, is it, Dr. Chahyo? What is the difference, the IPF and the regular students?
Okay, the other students. Okay, so Dr. Ramesh, I think for all the students, I think that's enough because the time is already limit. That's all right, Dr.
Yeah,
Ramesh.
Sure. So we
Okay,
can
thank you.
end the
Okay,
session.
could you close your share screen, please? So everyone, could you open your camera so we will take a picture together for these classes? Because I would like to all of you to join and to take a picture together.
Is it clear, Dr. Chayo?
Sorry, could you close your slideshow? Stop your share screen.
Oh, yeah.
Sudah? Okay. So now we are okay. So could you please stop your share screen, please, Dr. Ramesh? Stop your share screen. Okay, that's good. Thank you. So everyone, please open your camera. We will take a picture together. Zidan and also Atira and also Rifka, Iqbal, Vivin, and the other students, please. Okay, let's take a picture with Dr. Ramesh. Thank you very much for today classes, and we will take a picture. 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, thank you very much for all students for the questions. Very good discussion, and thank you, Dr. Ramesh, Krishnan, for the time. And I would like to see you in face-to-face directly. Maybe the next time I will go to your university in Malaysia.
Okay, you're always welcome to come to UITM, Universiti Teknologi Mara, anytime. We can have a collaboration in our research and future collaboration between UMY and UITM. You're always welcome, Dr. Chayo.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ramesh. So everyone, any students, do you have any some word or something for Dr. Ramesh? Maybe Zidan or Muhammad Bah? Do you have any
Yeah, I want to
questions?
thank him. Thank you, Dr. Ramiza, for your explanation. I got great benefit from your presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, I think that's all for the students. Thank you again, Dr. Ramesh, and thank you for the whole students for joining the guest lecture today. And see you next week. For the whole students, we will have a presentation for the final examination of your business plan. So, Dr. Ramesh, again, thank you very much. So I would like to finish this guest lecture with the Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahirobbilalamin, and see you again. So
Okay, thank you
Assalamualaikum
very much.
warahmatullahi
Okay.
wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, everyone. See you again if we have a
See you.
chance. Bye.
Okay, everyone, I will close this Zoom link. So thank you very much and see you next week.